In the history of modern business, speed is usually measured in years. It took Instagram 2.5 years to reach 100 million users. It took TikTok 9 months. It took this company's flagship product 2 months. But here is the counterintuitive insight. They didn't achieve this historical velocity with a Super Bowl commercial, a viral influencer campaign, or even a polished finished product. They did it by releasing a tool that they explicitly labeled as a research preview. They conquered the market by admitting they weren't quite ready for it. We are analyzing. OpenAI. Founded in 2015 as a non-profit research laboratory, the organization spent its early years in relative obscurity. They were known only to academics and Silicon Valley insiders. Their stated mission was high-minded and abstract, to ensure that general-purpose machine learning benefits all of humanity. Yet, by 2023, they had pivoted into one of the most aggressive and valuable product companies on Earth, with a valuation widely reported to exceed $80 billion. While the engineering behind their success is undeniable, the brand strategy they used to deploy it is often overlooked. They took a terrifying, complex, and controversial technology and packaged it into something that felt as harmless as a text message. Here is how they engineered the fastest-growing consumer application in history. Strategy number 1, the interface lift. There is a common misconception that the company's success was due to a sudden breakthrough in technology in late 2022. That is not entirely true. The underlying model, the powerful computational engine driving the responses, had been available to developers for nearly 2 years prior, via an API. The technology existed, but it was locked behind a wall of code. To use it, you had to be an engineer. The brand's genius move was not an upgrade to the engine, but a simplification of the dashboard. They took the exact same technology and wrapped it in the most universally understood interface in human history: conversation. By moving from a completion engine where you input text and the machine finishes it, to a chat interface where you talk and it talks back, they lowered the barrier to entry from knowing how to code to knowing how to type. And here is the strategic lesson. Value is not just about capability, it is about accessibility. A product is only as good as the customer's ability to use it. By changing the interface, they changed the market from thousands of developers to billions of humans. Strategy number 2, the research preview. Shield. The second strategic masterstroke was the framing of their launch. When major tech giants release a product, it is usually accompanied by a promise of perfection. If the product fails or provides incorrect information, the brand takes a massive reputational hit. OpenAI flipped this dynamic. They launched their flagship tool with a prominent disclaimer: "This is a research preview." This framing accomplished 2 things simultaneously. First, it lowered expectations. If the model hallucinated or gave a wrong answer, users were forgiving. They weren't using a commercial product, they were helping test a prototype. And second, it created a velvet rope effect. It didn't feel like they were selling you something, it felt like they were inviting you into a laboratory. This is a strategy of productized scarcity. By positioning the release as a scientific test, rather than a commercial launch, they shifted the user's role. You weren't a customer complaining about bugs. You were a participant in the future. This allowed them to gather massive amounts of data, essentially free labor from millions of users, while insulating their brand from the backlash of imperfection. Strategy number 3, the aesthetic of inevitability. Visually, the brand defies the current trends of the software industry. Look at the typical aesthetic of a modern startup: bright colors, playful illustrations, friendly mascots, and gradients. It's designed to look fun and harmless. OpenAI went the opposite direction. Their visual identity is stark, clinical, and minimal. The logo, a hexagonal flower, feels more like a symbol from a physics textbook than a corporate trademark. The interface is largely monochromatic. Why? This is a branding technique known as the authority aesthetic. When you are selling a tool that claims to possess reasoning capabilities, You don't want it to look fun. You want it to look capable. You want it to look like a utility. By stripping away the fluff, the brand signals that the value is entirely in the output. It suggests that the technology is so powerful, it doesn't need to dress up for you. They position themselves not as a scrappy startup, but as an inevitability. So, why did this stick so effectively in the human mind? Beyond the utility, the brand leveraged a powerful psychological principle: anthropomorphism. Humans are hardwired to project agency onto things that interact with us. When a machine uses the pronouns I and you and creates unique sentences in real time, our brains struggle to categorize it as a mere tool. We begin to see it as an entity. This triggers the ELIZA effect, a phenomenon where people attribute human-level intelligence and emotion to computer programs that simply parrot back words. The company's decision to use a cursor that types out the answer in real time rather than displaying the whole block of text instantly reinforces this. That tiny delay, that visual of the words appearing one by one, mimics the rhythm of human thought. It creates a psychological pacing that makes the user feel they are engaging with a thinking mind, creating a deeper emotional hook than a standard search bar ever could. What can modern entrepreneurs and leaders learn from this? The core lesson is that innovation is nothing without translation. OpenAI sat on their technology for years. It was only when they translated that technology into a format that required zero learning curve, chat, that they became a household name. If you are building something complex, do not ask your customer to rise to your level of sophistication. Build a bridge down to theirs. Furthermore, consider the power of the beta mindset. You do not always need to launch with a promise of perfection. Sometimes, framing your product as a work in progress invites your audience to build it with you, turning critics into collaborators. OpenAI didn't just build a faster horse, they built a new way to ride. They took the most complex technology of our generation and marketed it with the simplicity of a text message. They proved that in the noise of the digital age, the quietest, most minimal brand often speaks the loudest. They showed us that if you want to change the world, you don't just need better code, you need a better story. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the strategy behind the company, consider subscribing to Brand Theory. We are dissecting the playbooks of the world's most influential companies every week, and we'd love to have you in the conversation. See you in the next one.